Hello from New York City. Hello from New York City. Hello from New York City. And good morning, Honesty. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. You are tuned into The Real Psychic Investigators, and my name is NEHRU. I am a Master Builder 33, born on the 333rd day of the year, 11/29/74. During the lunar moon, this is my 10th and final journey to the planet. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to go ahead and get into a live Q&A, okay? And so this is open. And of course, we can pull energy, but what I would like to do on this Christmas Eve, okay, is hear from you, okay, and perhaps answer some of your questions. And I may have one or two for you, okay? So again, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, wherever you're spending your Christmas Eve morning. I hope it's a safe and peaceful place. And if it is not, understand and know that you have control over that. Even if that control is merely walking away. And I've heard something a couple of times, and that is, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And if you can't change the people around you, then change the people around you. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. Divine Source, I thank you so much for the opportunity to share my life with those who resonate with it. I thank you so much for those who have shared their journeys with me via email and that. And yeah, I honor them and I honor you. I honor the Galactic Federation. I honor the Council of Light. I honor the Sanhedrin Council. I honor the star seeds and all portals, that is planets. Okay, the sun is a portal, the moon is a portal. Okay, hello. Hello, Wanda. Thank you so much for tuning in. And again, happy Christmas Eve to everyone. So, your questions, okay, I have one for you to start, but of course I have a couple of nuggets to share as well. Okay. Earlier today, and this was something that I got this morning, I think this morning, yeah. Again, it's in the evening time now in Da Nang, Vietnam, which is where I will be spending Christmas. There were two times, no, one, two, three. I think there's three times. This might be the fourth, third, no, fourth. This is the fourth Christmas that I would have not spent in the U.S. Okay, I spent two Christmases outside of the U.S. when I was stationed in Germany. I spent one Christmas deployed, okay, and this is the fourth Christmas that I am spending outside of the U.S. in my 51 years of living on this planet, this lifetime, okay, yeah, this is by far of the four the most peaceful of the four for sure. All right. And the military wasn't very stressful, but again, being deployed and all of that, it's obviously not a laid back type of situation. So Divine spoke to me about being grafted in. Hello, Justice League. Happy Christmas Eve to you. Okay. And if you do not celebrate Christmas, then that's okay too. Whatever you happen to celebrate. Okay. Oh, my pleasure. Always. You're worth it. Okay. You're worth it. All right. And so Divine Source has been talking to me about being grafted in. Okay. And again, for those of you who do not know, I did spend 4.5 years on dialysis. And on dialysis, typically, when you get a catheter, see this mark here, okay? This is where the catheter went into my chest, and a catheter for dialysis goes straight into your heart artery, okay? That's why it's typically not kept in for more than 90 days, because due to the heightened risk of infection and that sort of thing because of where it's going into the heart. And so, but I kept a catheter. I had four of them over 4.5 years. I kept it in because I did not want a graft. And a graft is put in your arm or your leg, okay? And it's an access point for dialysis, okay? I did not want that. And, but that's unusual. Typically, that is after 90 days, that's what you get. You get a graft, okay? But being grafted in means that once you are, it can, that cannot be separated from you, okay? To be grafted in, okay? And so those of you who resonate with this journey, okay, and living your highest, purest, truest self, you've been grafted in, okay? I often speak of, I hope you're thinking of questions, writing them down. I often speak to relationships and how relationships are, most of them are just for times and seasons. Most of them are not meant to last your lifetime. You know, friends that you meet in school, grade school, what have you. Okay, I've disconnected from friends that I met when I was 17 years old. Okay, and I mean, well, what I thought were close friends. And yeah, and so on LinkedIn, the reason why I mentioned that is on LinkedIn, I had a LinkedIn review, a 2025 in review, and the individual whose name is Janice Witness, Winnet for synchronicity, Janice Witness. She was, according to LinkedIn, my top connection on LinkedIn as far as communication, messages, sharing the same thing. And she actually works for Fresenius, which is where I was getting dialysis treatments and where I received the news that there was a kidney available for me. And I received that kidney transplant between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning on 7/7/17 in Pittsburgh. Okay, again, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And, LinkedIn, it shows you who's looking at your profile. Okay. And we have been connected all year. Okay. And then for some reason, she stopped following me and all of that. And I noticed that she went on my profile recently and then she disconnected from me. Okay. And I just sent her a message and I said, Janice, I understand. And I am mature enough to know that most ships are only for a time and a season. And I said, thank you so much for your time. And I wish you, your family, and your bloodline the very best moving forward. Okay. And so, again, just a reminder that most only last a time and a season. Okay. And don't fight for them to stay connected to you. Don't wonder why they left. Okay. Just let them go. All right. A shout out to Lynn and Uggs. Okay, Lynn and Uggs. Okay, these are two of the most recent public subscribers. Again, I like giving public shout outs. So shout out to Lynn and shout out to Uggs. All right. So my question to you as we get this live Q&A started is I've been watching comedies all day. Okay. And so what type of comedy, what's your type of humor? Okay. Are you like Three Stooges humor? Okay. Yeah, I can say I have zero outside of those who send me love, through the channel and that sort of thing on this platform. I don't, I don't have any personal phone numbers saved in my phone today. None, zero. Okay. And so, and that is making room for the soul tribe also. That is another way to make room for the soul tribe as we read or as we often see in the angel numbers. Okay. So are you Three Stooges type of comedy? Are you Naked Gun like type of comedy? Are you King of Queens type of comedy? Yeah, what type of comedy are you? Your sense of humor. Okay, let me know in the comments. All right. So it is open now. You can ask me anything that you would like. Okay. So what would you like to know? What would you like to know about me? Questions you have about your own journey? Okay. How to do this, how to do that, how to chakras. We have 114 chakras. Okay. And of course, we mainly focus on the 7, but we do have 114 of them, and you can open up other chakras. Okay. Yeah. So what questions do you have? Okay. Yeah. January 4th, super soldier, super soldiers. Um, is that your, was that your ETS date, Justice League? January 4th? Or are you speaking to something else? All right. So yes, go ahead and whatever questions you have, feel free to ask. Okay. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I see. Okay. All right. Would you all just like to see what the energy is at this time? What would you like to do? Again, this is an open platform. Generally speaking, my life is an open book as well. Generally speaking, there are obviously things that I would not share, but those are just personal things that I protect. Okay, but generally speaking, my life is an open book. That I will be stepping into. Okay, awesome, good, 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 excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, 2026 or 2025 is the year of the snake. It is the year of shedding. Okay, old skin, old things, old habits, whatever that happens to be. Whatever that happens to be. I was sitting out today on the balcony, and a butterfly flew over and flew inside. So there's a glass enclosure, and a butterfly flew over inside the glass enclosure and just stayed there. And it probably stayed there for probably 30 minutes. And I posted a short about it, or with it, speaking about transformation. But yeah, that was just confirmation for me, from my ancestors, from divine source, that the transformation is complete. And yeah, grafted in, grafted in. Okay. All right. So, what questions do you have, if you have any? Okay. Maybe we will just pull energy. Okay. Uh, what what's all this toxic food? Oh, okay, 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 okay. Um, oh, so as far as what I eat, and that's a very good question, Justice League. So as far as eating is concerned, I will tell you this. Generally speaking, there's very little red meat in my daily consumption. Very little, and it's not because I'm a vegan or a vegetarian. I am not. Okay. And in fact, I don't want to limit myself to that extent. But I just eat very little red meat on the daily basis. Typically, there are eggs involved in my diet. Typically, and sometimes it's 3 eggs a day. Sometimes it's 5 or 6 eggs a day. Okay, I'll make pasta, and I'll add eggs to that pasta. Um, and so eggs are probably the number one source of protein that I consume on the regular basis. Okay, eggs, bananas, are some of the top two foods that I consume on the regular basis, as well as fish, specifically salmon, although I'm not, it doesn't have to be. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. And again, uh, 80, in my opinion, 80%. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And like you said, Justice League, um, exercise is an exorcism, and it's an exorcism of the body. And not only that, but it really does help you. I mean, men and women, ladies, gents, okay? When you go to the gym or when you work out, when you go running or when you whatever, work out at home or whatever you do, you feel sexier, you feel healthier, you feel better, okay? Even if it's only for 15 minutes, okay? You feel better about yourself, and there's a reason for that, okay? And so I do exercises and stretches and that sort of thing here. I haven't had a gym membership here in Da Nang since I think October was my last gym membership. Yeah, October was my last gym membership. I didn't get one last month because I don't know, I just didn't. Or this month. But yeah, so it's not complicated as far as how I take care of myself. It's actually fairly simplistic. I do consume, and in addition to the eggs on the almost daily, I could say daily basis, in addition to the eggs, I probably drink probably almost somewhere between 2 and 2.5 liters of water a day. Okay? Between 2 and 2.5 liters of water a day. Okay? And so that is extremely important for your energetic flow, okay? But also obviously for the body, because again, the body being 70 to 80% water, that is significant, okay? So water, eggs, okay? And again, it's not because I stay away from things like pizza. I order pizza a couple of times a month, okay, through Grab. They use the Grab app here, the same thing as Uber, okay? Um, but yeah, so I'll have a pizza, okay? I'll have a burger. Again, the burger is rarer, but I'll have the burger, okay? Or some type of fish. But yeah, French fries. I eat French fries. I had French fries today. I eat French fries on a regular basis. Um, and but yeah, so it's the moderation and the abundance of what I do consume that really helps me to stay in whatever physical shape I'm in, whatever that's considered. Okay, good, bad, okay, or what otherwise. Okay, um, yeah, okay, yeah, and I do eat fruits in addition to bananas. Um, Mangoes, okay, is something that I really enjoy. Okay, and here you can get a mango at a market for the equivalent of, I don't know, 50 cent. If you go to the local markets here right outside on the street, you can get a bundle of bananas and 5 mangoes for what's the equivalent of probably $6, and so if that, it might be $3, but extremely inexpensive. But mangoes are definitely another one of those fruits that I consume on a regular basis. Okay. Um, yeah, and that's kind of my daily thing. Again, last thing I consume before I go to bed is water. The first thing I consume when I wake up in the morning is water. Okay, and at night it'll help your body continue to flush whatever you've consumed throughout the day, and then in the morning it awakens the organs. Okay, and so yeah, those are kind of my food. That's kind of my routine as far as food is concerned. I'm not against the steak, but here it's very common, unless you go out to a restaurant, to get that. Interestingly, here in Da Nang or in Vietnam, their diet is more like America was in the 60s and the 70s. A lot of it is fast food and a lot of Vietnamese smoke cigarettes. A lot of Vietnamese smoke cigarettes. Okay. And, but they love Popeyes, they love KFC, they love all that stuff here. And those lines are long at those places, you know. But I still have not had Popeyes. I still have not had KFC here, you know. And I had Burger King once in the 7 months that I've been in Southeast Asia. Burger King one time, and that was when I first got here. And in fact, that was in Malaysia. So back in May. So that type of fast food is not something that I consume on a regular basis. Um, yeah, yeah. All right. Good question. Good question. Good question. Any other questions? Any other questions? What does this say? Hold on. Yeah. I recently purchased a deck of cards and put them away. Oh, good question, Justice League. Okay, so, and I've mentioned this in the past, so this is good. This is good. So, if you could buy, okay, and you can do this again, just like Justice League is saying, you can do this for yourself. And this is a mixed deck of cards. I have a mixed deck of cards here, okay, but you can go and buy as you're going through and your awakenings, whatever it happens to be, dark night of the soul, your conscious spiritual journey here. You can buy yourself a deck of cards and use them for yourself. Okay, you don't have to start a YouTube channel or any other platform like that and be an oracle in that way. You can use the cards for your own journey, and many people do. Um, the the one thing that I would advise is, first of all, whenever you are going to use the cards, okay, I would meditate before I start using the cards. Okay, so let's say you wake up a Saturday morning and you've had a dream. Okay, you say that you have dreams all of the time. Okay, so I would wake up and I would meditate, which is something that I do in the morning when I wake up at a 15-minute meditation. You wake up and do that meditation before you get into the cards. I meditate before I come on here, live or a recorded video. I meditate. First of all, that's to clear whatever is going on in me, right? So I could be, I don't know, out of balance, you know? And so I meditate in order to clear that energy so that whatever divine source and my ancestors and that want to show me through the cards, I can receive clearly and see clearly without anger or bitterness or even if you're not, even if you're, I don't know, in a goofy, silly mood, you know, just so that you can balance out your masculine, feminine energy before you get into whatever the cards are going to show you. Okay. So that's the one piece of advice I would give is meditate before. And because you are the only one utilizing the cards, Justice League, you can be assured. And when I say utilizing, I mean you meditate to clear your energy. Okay, you could burn incense, you could burn sage, Palo Santo. There's a number of ways you can do that in addition to meditating. So that's the one thing that I would say is to make sure that your energy is clear and cleansed, okay? And you're not emotional one way or the other. Don't pull cards when you're mad at somebody. That's not gonna be beneficial. All right. And you might not even like what comes out of the cards if you're angry, because it might show that, you know, there's some adjustment that needs to be made on your part. So you want to go into the reading or into the energy clear and with balance. Okay. Excellent question. Excellent question. And it's good to hear that you went and picked up a deck of cards. And again, for your own journey, it's a tool, right? It's a tool like a hammer, like a screwdriver, Phillips or flathead, it's a tool. Okay? So, excellent, excellent. Okay? Yeah, they have. Yeah, oh yeah, they got Popeyes here. They got McDonald's. They got Burger King. They got KFC. They got Taco Bell. They got yeah, yeah. They have all of those places here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they sure do. Yeah. Hello, Victoria. Hello, Victoria. Welcome to the live Q&A. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Good to see you as always. Do you have any questions? Happy Christmas Eve, okay, or Eve of whatever you celebrate, or what have you, okay, Hanukkah or what have you. Um, let's see. Yeah. Anything else, or any other questions, I should say. Anything else? Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. You are tuned into a live Q&A, okay, here on the Real Psychic Investigators. Yeah, I was forgetting that I mean, until probably the 22nd, I was looking at something and I saw it was the 22nd, and I was like, wow, the Christmas holiday is just 3 days away. I was completely, because again, I'm I'm out of the loop as far as all of that's concerned. And here, it's not as extravagant as it is in America. Okay, they have Christmas trees up. In fact, the hotel or apartment complex that I'm staying at, they have a Christmas tree downstairs outside. Um, but outside of that, there's nothing else on the entire street. That's the only Christmas tree on the entire street. There aren't lights strung from the houses and hotels and all that. It's not. It's rare. Okay. Now, in the more tourist areas, I am not in a heavily tourist area for purpose. Okay. But in the heavily tourist areas closer to the beach, I'm about 2 kilometers from the beach. There's, yeah, they have Christmas trees and Santa Clauses and all that stuff along the street. But, okay, I'm a little ways away from that, which again is on purpose. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You asked, the name Derek? You're asking me, did Derek's name come up again, Victoria? You're asking me? Is that what you're asking? Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Sammy. All right, thank you. Sammy says, put some likes up. All right. So, Victoria, are you asking me if the name Derek has come out in the reading recently? Is that what you're asking? Oh, okay. I can't recall which. Maybe not the most recent live, which was this morning, which would be your evening, last evening. I don't recall, but perhaps the one before that, which would be your morning, yesterday morning's reading, yesterday morning's live. Okay. Um, yeah. In the last two readings, the name Derek has come out for sure, at least once. Okay. At least once. Okay. That is a very common name that comes out here. All right. Is that one of your nemesis? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No problem. No problem. Yeah. I appreciate you all tuning in. Um, and thank you so much for the likes, Sammy. Thank you. Thank you, Sammy. Again, I don't know. Again, I'm simplistic in that way. I mean, if you like it, you like it. I remember. So I was in automotive sales for a brief time when I got out of the military. Well, actually, during my hiatus for Most High, I was upset. I was angry. I was frustrated when I got out of the military because one, I didn't want to get out of the military. That's for one. And two, um, I just wasn't happy with the way that things were going in life generally at that time. So I decided I was going to walk away, and I did for a year and a half. During that year and a half, I got a DUI. So that goes to show you what happens when you walk away from divine source. All right. So yeah, that was 20 years ago, but that goes to show you what happens when you walk away from divine source. And things went downhill real quick. I was working 80 hours a week at a car dealership, and did very well. My last month in car sales, I sold 12 cars. For some, that might not be a lot, but yeah, I sold 12 cars. And that was December of 2006. December of 2006. Okay. And, but before I went into the military, I had two jobs. Oh, okay. In December of 2006, oh no, before I went into the military, I had two jobs. I was an assistant manager at a movie theater, which I had been at since I was 17. Okay. And again, that's where the majority of the friends that I was friends with for the last 30 years, where I met them, including my prom queen, who I posted a picture of when her physical body was returned to the earth in 2017. Okay. But she was 43 at that time. And I remember when I quit both of my jobs, assistant manager at a movie theater and assistant manager at a Little Caesars at that time, I quit both of those jobs because I had already enlisted into the military. Okay, so I was getting ready to leave, but I was bored, so I wanted a job. And I remember I took a horrible job. It was horrible, horrible. Okay. And it was selling Kirby vacuums. Kirby vacuums. Now, we're talking about 1995. Okay. And I was selling these Kirby vacuums. These vacuums back then was $1,500 for a vacuum. Okay. You want to talk about a hard sell? Try selling a vacuum, blind knock on the door, trying to sell somebody a $1,500 vacuum. No appointment, no nothing. You want to, yeah. I did that for about 2 weeks. I was like, deuces, I'm out. I'm done. Yeah, that was it. But uh, I don't know why I brought that up. I brought that up for some reason. I brought that up for some reason. But yeah, I sold back. It was horrendous, terrible, horrible. But yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know why I brought that up. I mentioned it for a reason and then I forgot. Oh yeah, that has to be the toughest gig. Okay. Oh, I was comparing it to car sales. Okay. It was much easier for me to sell a car. First of all, I have been in the past a bit of a car fanatic. I've had 40 cars. Don't laugh or make fun of me. I've had 40 cars. Um, or 39 or 41 or somewhere in there. The majority of those cars I got between 19 and 35, the majority of those cars. But yeah, I would keep a car for 6 months, turn around, trade it in, sell it, whatever, get something else. Okay. Um, but car sales was much, much easier than trying to sell a $1,500 vacuum. That's tough. Okay. Needless to say, I did not sell any except to Kevin. Okay. Um, and I sold it to him, and they didn't even keep up the payments on it. So, yeah. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that was crazy. Oh, wow. You sold Volkswagens. Wow. You're the internet manager. Okay. 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 Um, Yeah, I was a car fanatic for sure. Today, I'm far more content with keeping, keeping a car for years. I don't need to get a new car every whatever year or whatever that was back then. And again, a lot of that was me mirroring Kevin, because he's had over 100 cars. He never had a job after 1980 because he had 7 and 8 women working for him at one time. But yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. And when I got out of the military in 2003, I was in car sales, 2004, 5, somewhere in there. Um, and obviously the internet was up and all of that, but it wasn't internet sales. It was just starting to take off, just starting to take off. Facebook wasn't even anything yet. Back then it was MySpace still. Check that out. It was MySpace. So yeah. And in fact, check this out. My second wife, okay, who was extremely unsupportive. She didn't want me doing dialysis treatments at home. She didn't want the equipment at home or anything like that. Okay, she would rather me drive an hour and a half round trip to get treatments and run the risk of passing out and having a car accident on the way back from dialysis, because you get dehydrated often. Okay, but I met her originally through blackplanet.com. I don't know if anyone is familiar with blackplanet.com, but that is where I met my second wife, is on that website, Black Planet. All right. And yeah, yeah, yeah. And I haven't been on that site since. And that was 23 years ago. Yeah, met her on blackplanet.com. I sure did. I sure did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, my first wife was a childhood sweetheart. Okay. We met in the 7th grade. Okay. That is also the first time she met Kevin. Okay. We lived in the same community in Bolingbrook, Illinois, in Beacon Ridge and Bolingbrook, Illinois. And she met him back when we were in the 7th grade. And she's the one that ended up leaving me for him in 1998 when I left to go to Germany. She ended up staying with the polygamist because he used witchcraft and those women to manipulate her to leave me, right? So again, and I'm thankful for the journey today, okay, because I didn't need her. Okay, no more than I needed Katina. That was the second wife. No more than I needed her. I didn't need them. I didn't. But yeah, 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 yeah. Blackplanet.com. I have not thought about that in a long time. Blackplanet.com. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Right there in Daytona. She was in Daytona Beach. I was in Georgia, I think, getting out of the military. I think I was at Fort Stewart and I was ETSing out of the military the first time. I ETS twice. The first time, they ended up calling me back to active duty and sending me to military intelligence school for a deployment, which Divine Source got me out of. I ended up going through the school and then Divine Source got me out of the deployment. Okay, that would have been my second deployment. Huh. Interesting. Huh. Very interesting, Victoria. Wow. So yeah, any other questions? I'm enjoying this. I am enjoying this. Any other questions? Again, whatever it happens to be, feel free to ask. Um, what are some, I don't know, what are some other things about me or whatever? Oh, everybody has little quirks and things, right? Everybody has little idiosyncrasies and all that sort of thing. So one of the things about me, again, don't ask me why I'm sharing this. I'm just sharing this because, yeah, 'tis the season. And So one of those weird little personal quirks about mine, I mentioned how I put hangers. So if I take something off, take a jacket, take a shirt, okay, I hang most of my clothes, okay, and even shirts, like t-shirts, I hang them. I don't like folding, but I don't like folding my shirts because you have to iron them typically. And so I move the hanger to the back behind the coats, okay? When I take the shirt off the hanger or whatever, pants, whatever it happens to be. One of the things that I've said often is I would not wear the same pair of underwear twice if I had the money to. But I rotate my underwear. So when I wash underwear, okay, my daughter Alexis, she calls these unmentionables. Okay, I have a funny story for you, but she calls these unmentionables, and so I rotate my right. So I'm not wearing the same underwear 10 days every 10 days. You know, it's not the same. So again, that might be a common thing for all I know. I don't know. That's just something that I do. I remember when she was just coming into her womanhood. Okay, and I remember her mother wanted me or asked me if I would take her bra shopping. Okay, her mother asked me this, and she was so embarrassed. She was like, "Mom, I don't want my daddy to go baby." And she was embarrassed, and I understand. Okay, but she was all bothered and all of that. She didn't want me to go and see, and and I should not have told her this. I should not have said this, but I did. But I told her, I said, I've unfastened more bras than you will wear, you know, and I shouldn't tell her that, and that's not true, obviously. She's almost 30, but yeah, that was funny. But she calls those unmentionables, okay? That's what she calls your undergarments, okay? But yeah, yeah. So just those little whatever things about you, okay? Those are unique things about you. And again, embrace those things, love those things about yourself, okay? All right. So anything else? Any other questions for me? Any questions about you, about your journey? Okay. Um, I know Victoria asked about Derek. Anything else you all would like to learn or know about me? Okay. Or again, or it could be questions about your journey, like Justice League asking about buying tarot cards and how to go about using them and how do you know if the energy is yours and that sort of thing. Um, yeah, so those are all great questions. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome in. We are doing a live Q&A. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. You can ask anything that you would like. Okay. I see that there are 7 people in the room and seven likes. Oh yeah, that reading a couple of days ago, 2 days ago about the trust fund baby. Yeah, yeah, and that's a very common thing. Again, because the secret societies, Wolf's Head, Priscillian group, Priscillian group. Okay, confirmation. Um, these Vatican, okay, Illuminati, okay, these organizations, they know about you, okay, and again, from time to time, things are leaked out about places like Area 51 and that sort of thing. Things are leaked out about those places, but that is though there are truths there, okay, and they know who is born on what day, what lunar moons, what solar moons. They know those things, and they're just watching. Okay, they don't care what your name is. They don't care. through whose birth canal you come through. They don't care about that. They are concerned about the individual who's born on 333rd day, the 222nd day, the 111th day, the 100 and, I don't know, 15th day. They're concerned about the 99th day baby or whoever. That's what they're concerned about. Okay? Yeah. And they know. They're just watching. Yep. They're just watching. Yep. So again, to you, thank you so much. And again, welcome in. Thank you so much for following what I can say is your intuition, not because it's me, okay? Because again, it's so not about me. It is so not about me, okay? The only thing that is about me is my journey. That's it, okay? Your journey is not about me, okay? And the collective is not about me, okay? But yeah, so thank you so much for coming on and being a part of this collective. I can tell you, this is a place where genuine, unconditional love is given, and yet at the same time, the truth is spoken, and it's spoken unapologetically. Okay, if I need to cuss somebody out, or if I need to kick their ass off the channel, I do that. Okay, and I have no problem doing that. Okay. I am definitely one that flourishes in their balanced masculine and feminine energy. Okay? I am a man, heterosexual, but celibate today, and I have no problem saying I love you. I have no problem saying I'm sorry. Okay? I have no problem with those things. Those are feminine traits. Okay? And yet at the same time, I will beat a motherfucker's ass. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually or physically, it don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? But that is a balance between your masculine and your feminine energy. And this is a place where that is a constant. That is a constant. Yeah, excellent. All right. So men, those of you who still run around acting like gorillas, beating your chest, because your mother or your father raised you to believe that men don't cry? Yeah. They have thrown off your masculine and your feminine balance. Okay? You are definitely in the right place if that's part of your journey. You are definitely in the right place if that's part of your journey. You are absolutely in the right place. Okay? Again, my father, or I say my father, but the warlock, okay? He took my first wife when I was in Germany. Okay? He fucked many of the women that I was with, including the German, okay, who had a child by him, whose name is Zoe. Okay? And her name is Connie. Okay. We dated when I was in Germany. I brought her, she flew over to the States when I got back from my deployment with 3rd Infantry Division. And somehow he stayed connected to her, and she flew over here or to the States, or he flew over there. I don't know how it happened, but they ended up being connected sexually, and she ended up becoming one of his whatever women. The last time I heard from her, she told me, I don't know if it's true, she told me she was dying of cancer. Again, I don't know if that's true. That's been some time ago. So I don't know where she is today, what's her status, or if she has a status. But yeah, so you're in the right place, okay? And you going through your Job experience and your Joseph experience again, divine source brings the toughest battles to his strongest warriors, women or men, to his strongest emperors, to his strongest empresses, to his strongest empresses or emperors. Those are the ones who get the toughest battles. So, congratulations. Congratulations, right? Yeah, that's what they do. And he's now serving a 40 to 60 year sentence in a Saginaw prison in Michigan. Yeah. Okay, since 2014. Okay, and I was part of the Witness team that put him there. All right. So yeah, you're in the right place. Oh yeah. Oh, Archangel Metatron. Yeah. 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 All right. So, where we at with time? Okay. So I think we are gonna go ahead and just pull some energy again, just to see where things are on this Christmas Eve. And again, happy Christmas Eve or whatever it is that you celebrate. You may celebrate none of that. Okay. So just happy day to you. All right. Again, Divine Source, I thank you for all of the collective, their love towards me, their expressions towards me, their emails to me, and expressions of appreciation. I am extremely grateful. Extremely grateful. It's amazing to me that I say something that 460 or 70 people want to hear. That's amazing to me. Okay. So let's go ahead and yeah, let's go ahead and see what's going on. Yeah, happy day again. Thank you so much and welcome into this collective. Yeah, thank you so much. All right. So right out we have judgment. We have a road trip. Okay, so something about a road trip. Okay. Okay, we have overcoming. Okay, we are overcomers. Okay, we are overcomers. I do not recall the religious book scripture that speaks to being overcomers. Oh, also, to you, Andrea, the other channel, it's the Shadow Band channel here on YouTube, is Esoteric Guidance Extraterrestrial Earth Angel. And on that channel, there's some 800 videos, the majority of which are canonical texts and that sort of thing, and me speaking about auras. I go through the book written by Mystic Mishala called What's Your Aura, okay, in which we explore auras, different colors, and blue aura, the difference between a blue aura, pink aura, how do you recognize different auras and energies in others, okay, all of those sorts of things we discuss over there. Again, that is a shadow band channel, so I do not post over there very often currently. But again, once everything clears for me, yeah, okay, and the majority of that information will end up being put on a podcast, okay. So yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and let's see. So we have Leo, Strength card, okay. We have the Moon. We have the Queen of Swords. This is like those of you that tuned into the earlier reading, I think the earlier live, the most recent live, I think it cut off at like 51 minutes or something. But there was another 9 minutes, it went to 104. So there was another 13 minutes missing on that video, I think, if I'm not mistaken. That's interesting. And I'm just remembering that. And then we have the Judgment, okay? We have the King of Pentacles, a Victory, a Magician, so alchemizing energy, the Ten of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, the World card, and a road trip, okay? Again, this could be you on a road trip currently, okay? Or this could speak to some type of road trip that's on the way, okay? So let's go ahead and see what it's about. And again, if you have any other questions as I'm going along, you can feel free to send those in the chat as well. I will definitely answer those. I wonder what happened. Oh, so there are so YouTube and Google are connected. Okay? YouTube and Google are connected. So someone, an employee or employees were paid by someone to shadow ban channels on YouTube. Okay? Which also leads to taking money from you, because if they shadow ban your material, then your information isn't getting out there. So algorithms are messed up. So your material is not being seen like it should be. So that's taking money out of your pocket. Okay. even if it's before you get it physically, right? So again, there will be a YouTube lawsuit that might come out here in the reading. It has in the past. Okay. So let's go ahead and check it out. Is everyone taking the day off today, or do some of you have to go in? It's Christmas Eve. If you are at work, you might be watching this at work. Who else is in the office, right, on Christmas Eve? Right? I like that we got the world card out here. I like that. Divine said, move this card, okay. Okay. I just took the two cards out. Divine was like, move this card. So, okay, I do. I follow instructions. Okay. So we have Earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo out here. Okay. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Someone's aiding and abetting someone. Okay. And again, with this road trip, someone could be aiding and abetting someone to hide. Okay. They could be aiding and abetting a fugitive. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, they could be aiding and abetting a fugitive, helping a fugitive be on the run, investigators, okay? If there are any investigators tuned in at this time, okay? Happy Christmas Eve or whatever you celebrate, okay? Live out loud, okay? To ask a question about whether or not you get justice, to be honest with you, first of all, I can't answer that question. And that is determined by your journey and your actions. I should say your actions, okay? So for instance, someone, and again, this is nothing against you. Again, I enjoy analogies, so I use them all of the time. Someone who goes up to the school principal and they're in the 9th grade, and they say, Principal Smith, can I have my diploma now? I want my diploma now. Can I have my diploma now? What is the principal going to say? Well, no, you need to complete the classes. You need to complete the 4 years of high school. Okay, you need to complete the 4 years of whatever, college. Okay, so Will you see justice? That's dependent on your choices, okay? So you have to get on your spiritually conscious journey, okay? That involves ego deaths, that involves dark nights of the soul, that involves ascensions, that involves meditating, that involves removing what no longer serves you, that includes people. So if you want justice, but you're still connected to the karmic ass people who are doing the injustices to you, then that slows down the process. So I can't answer, will you receive justice? My answer to that, I can't answer yes or no. I can only say is it's based on you. You determine that. That's the best answer I could give. That's the only true answer. Okay? Some religious person be like, oh yeah, God gonna save you. Oh yeah, God gonna save. No. That's not how it works, okay? Again, in most cases, and this is going to be revelation for someone, check this out. This is going to be revelation for someone. In a lot of cases, divine isn't asking for you to love them more. They're asking for you to love yourself more, okay? They're not saying love me more. Why don't you love me? They're saying love yourself. Because if you love yourself, you'll do what's best for yourself. And sometimes that means walking alone. Okay? So, yeah. I hope you do receive justice. Okay? I hope you do. All right? So, on the other side of live out loud, or we have we're moving and the King of Pentacles. So this is a confirmation that road trip, collective, that road trip could be for you, or it could be vacation time right now for you, however it resonates. And again, for those of you who are newer to the channel, what resonates is what easily fits. Okay, you don't have to make it fit. Okay, so we're moving. King of Pentacles coming in. Okay, so some type of money coming in. This King of Pentacles could be a male or a female. Okay, providing resources that's going to help you do this. Okay, help you relocate. Okay, so that you can live out loud in whatever way live out loud means. Okay, you could be a musician. You could be a different type of artist. A musician is an artist. Okay, but whatever you do, okay. We have a sister energy out here. Investigators, there's blood evidence on something. Yeah, it's not always fun. Again, I remember when I spent weeks in my office in Daytona Beach crying, sobbing because of the Scorpio. I mean, just devastated. And yeah, those were some tough days. I'm glad they're over, and yet at the same time, I'm glad they happened. Okay? I already knew I was strong. I've always been a strong individual. I've always been independent. I've always been that. Okay? Always, since a child. I've always been that way. In the military, graduating from basic training, the drill sergeants chose me to be promoted at graduation from basic training. I was the platoon sergeant for the last 6 of the 8 weeks in basic training. So I've always been a natural leader, and strong and independent in that way. But I'm glad I went through what I did, because those who came against me did not know that, or did not realize that, or underestimated that. Okay, and shame on them. That's their loss. Okay. Blood evidence. Okay. And Italy. Okay. So this trip might involve going to Italy. Okay. I'm definitely good to go to Italy. Okay. Or Italy could be someone's name. Italy. Okay. They say Virginia is for lovers. I think Italy is for lovers. All right. I think Italy is for lovers. Right. Okay. We have a boating accident. Okay, so the Coast Guard is going to be contacted. The Coast Guard is going to be contacted. A boating accident. Okay, someone's a narcissist. The names Reginald, Regina, Reggie, Cameron, Kathy, and Wesley. Kathy with a K or a C. Okay. Someone could go by Cat. Okay. Someone's telling the truth. Okay. It's not the narc, that's for sure. Right. He is a narc. One side of the strength card, and we have Shauna. Okay. So Shauna, confirmation. Okay. So Shauna. Okay. Lawrence, Larry, Lowry, and Lori. Okay, take a look. Okay, and remember. Okay, do we have the love? We don't have the. We do not have. No, we do not have the Lovers card out here. It might be in one of the other decks, but natural age is nothing but a number in synchronicity. Okay, for those of you who might be meeting someone who's a bit younger or a bit older than you. Okay. Generally speaking, this lifetime around, I've stayed away from those who were younger than me. Okay. But that's just because, I don't know, the ones that I have attracted have been older. That's the only reason why. Okay. Not because I seek older females, but I generally have attracted older women. Okay. But at, I don't know, at 30, I was extremely mature for a 30-year-old. Extremely mature and responsible at 30 years old. Well, let me think. Maybe at 35, maybe not 30, because 30 is when I was going through my sabbatical and I was mad with divine source. So maybe not 30, but 35. Okay. All right. But even then, it was just frustration with the whatever the job and all of that sort of thing after I got out of the military. Right. That's all that was. Okay. So I paid my bills and I did those sorts of things. Okay. A Dean, okay? This could be Lawrence Dean, Larry Dean, Shauna Dean, Lori Dean, okay? A Dean, okay? Someone who's in charge or someone's name is Dean, James Dean, Paula Dean, okay? A victory over Dean, or Dean is getting a victory. There are clues in their cell phone, investigators. There are clues in the cell phone. So get their cell phone, get the subpoena, get their cell phone records. In their cell phone records, you will see where they went, right? It's through the pings off the towers. Okay. Oh, you didn't go east. You said you went east and you were traveling to this place, but I see actually that you went south. So what towers were their phones pinging off of? Emails, text messages. If it's involving money, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all of these are apps on phones that have evidence that are receipts. Okay? Something's on the phone. Could be pictures. Okay? When they were secretly recording you, collective, anything. All right? So there are clues in their cell phone. That is on one side of judgment. And a witness's life is in danger. Okay. This is kind of hard to read because the other side bled through. But that says, okay, that says right there that witness's life is in danger. So this witness might need to be placed in the witness protection program. Okay. So the investigators, you could be moving this witness. You might need to move this witness. Okay? You might need to relocate them. Witness protection program energy. Okay? I said somebody's name in my journey and I'm looking at their name right now on this card right there. Dark aura. Okay? Somebody has a dark aura. Okay? Again, the book written by Mystic Mishala is What's Your Aura? Okay, you may want to pick that up. When I picked that book up, I was in Arizona and I picked it up at a 5 and below store. So it's $5 or less. What's Your Aura? Okay, there you go. And again, you could look at that series of videos as we journey through that book on esoteric guidance, extraterrestrial earth angel. On the other side of dark aura, we have Dampier, Daphne, and DuPont. Okay. And Daphne could be the dark aura. Dampier could be the dark aura. DuPont could be the dark aura. Or they are in this Queen of Swords energy. Jacqueline could be the dark aura. Okay. Jackie, Jax, the name Robinson, Robbie, Robinson, Robert. Okay. Marie. Okay. This energy came out here the other day. The most recent live reading, I think this energy came out here. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's great to have you in the room. It's great to have you a part of the collective. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. So this says surgical sex organ change. Again, divine source. If divine source is perfection and divine source makes no mistakes, why do human beings, high vibrational beings, don't do this? Why do human beings change their dicks to vaginas or their vaginas to dicks? And then they commence to praying to them. So if the surgery doesn't go right, then they'll be praying to save their life. Why are you praying to a deity that made a mistake and you think you're correcting it? You want to pray to a deity that makes mistakes? Of course not. Makes errors. Something as major as you coming here as the wrong gender, that's a major mistake. Because they don't believe. They don't. Okay? The name Tiffany. Okay? Something about the summer. Okay? Or someone's name is Summer. Okay? Something could have happened in the summer with Tiffany. Something will happen in the summer with Tiffany. Okay? Oh, by the way, for those of you who are Capricorn babies, happy birthday season to you. Okay? A CDL driver. I didn't say it, but on the back of this sex origin card, look at this. I didn't say it, but look. See that? On the back, it says Houston, Texas serial killer active. And this card right here says CDL license. So investigators, this in part might be the CDL driver that has something in their phone. Okay, their name could be Larry, Lawrence, Lowry, Dampier, Daphne, DuPont, what have you. Sean, Shauna. Okay. Spell work reversed. Yep, hallelujah. Spell work reversed. Okay. Something about drastic changes. Okay. So someone could have gotten, listen to this, someone could have gotten a sex organ change in order to do sexual assaults. I'm getting horn honks. Somebody's going rags to riches again with that first energy that was out here with this King of Pentacles. We're moving and live out loud. Okay, rags to riches energy. I just got booyah shaka. That's my word for when something happens and it punches the enemy in the face. I say booyah shaka, right? That's my cha-ching word. Okay, so booyah shaka, enemy. Booyah shaka, karmic ass. Rags to riches. Okay. Rags to riches. Okay. On one side of the road trip and the name Campbell. Okay. Someone's going to be having TV dinners for life. This road trip could be to the penitentiary. Could be to Fort Leavenworth. Okay. Road trip. On the other, looking at Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha, Nebraska. An investigator, something out here is like Natalie Holloway. So listen to me. Listen to me. Look at this. Like Natalie Holloway. So someone went on vacation. Someone went on vacation and disappeared. Okay? Someone went on vacation and disappeared. They could be running from the law, or they are the victim of a crime. Okay? So someone took a road trip again to run away, or they disappeared, and now it's a Natalie Holloway situation. Okay? Looking at the name McMillan, Quinn, Quinto, and Queenie. Okay? Dan Quinn, excuse me, Dan Quinn, Kathy Quinto. Somebody could go by Queenie or McQueen or Queen. Okay? Because we are the champions, my friends. Okay? And we'll keep on fighting to the end. There's deception nearby. Again, you can't, that's hard to read there, but that says deception nearby. That is on the world card. We are the champions. On the other side of the world card for a brand new beginning. Okay? Okay? Brand new beginning. There's a song I posted. It's a manifestation song. It's called The New Era of Me. I posted it in the community tab. Those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I post in the community tab on the daily basis, multiple times a day typically. Okay? It's called The New Era of Me. Okay? Hunt, Ryder, Harrison, Kingston. Okay? New World Order, NWO, New World Order, New NWO. Got the name Renee. Okay? Renee. Okay? Next. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat, and I will answer them as we're going along here. Okay? Someone poisoned a child. That could be you when you were a child and they tried to take you out, or some other child. Okay. That is on the Five of Pentacles. That's definitely Five of Pentacles energy. Someone poisoning anybody is Five of Pentacles energy. Okay. And bad eating habits. Okay. So any of these names out here could have bad eating habits. Tiffany, Campbell, Shauna, Larry, Lawrence, Lori, Shauna, Hunt, Ryder, Harrison, Kingston. Someone could be in Jamaica. Harrison Ford. Again, we get a lot of celebrity energy out here. J.R. Ryder, whose name was Baby Jordan. His nickname was Baby Jordan in the NBA. Helen Hunt. Okay. With Helen Hunt, I'm reminded of Castaway. I believe she was in Castaway. Okay. She played Tom Hanks's girlfriend, and he was missing for so long that she went ahead and got married and all of that and moved on with her life. And then he was found. He worked for FedEx in that movie, FedEx. So it could be something about that type of delivery company, FedEx, delivering a package or what have you. Okay, FedEx. Okay. Justice League, one of their questions today, they asked me about what are my eating habits, what do I eat, and that sort of thing to take care of myself. But someone has bad eating habits out here, okay? So someone's sloppy out of weight, or out of weight, out of weight. Okay, so out of weight, out of time, okay, out of weight. But someone's out of shape, okay? Something about a cold case here, investigators. We got Natalie Holloway out here. We have Natalie Holloway, so there's definitely confirmation on the cold case. Okay. Someone uses sex as a weapon. Investigators, I'm going to help you out here. As I do. That's my job. That's my job. That's my job. Okay. So investigators, okay, take a look. So, this says, I fled to my home country, a cold case like Natalie Holloway. So you could be investigating a cold case and the perpetrator ran to their native country, wherever that is, wherever they were born. You see that? Okay. Looking at Abraham Hicks. Yeah, baby. Shout out to Abraham Hicks. On behind Abraham Hicks, we have Earth Angel. Okay? Earth Angel. You could be coming into the realization that you are an Earth Angel, or you are some high vibrational star seed. You are a generational curse breaker. Okay? You are the Hierophant. You are the high priest. You are the high priestess in your family, in your bloodline. I can tell you, if you are that in your family, you probably need to cut them off. If not all of them, the majority of them. And for a time, all of them. Because again, celibacy, the three things that are needed. Here are the three keys that are needed, in my opinion. Celibacy, isolation or hermit mode, okay, and meditation. You need all three of those things in order to ascend. You can do without burning sage and all that. You don't have to get into all of that. You don't have to get into all the 114 chakras, and you don't have to go into depth about all of that. You don't have to access your Akashic records. You don't have to get into all the things that I speak about, okay? But 3 things that you need: celibacy, time alone, and you need to meditate. You need those 3 things, okay? To kick your conscious spiritual journey into high gear. Someone has moles on their face, okay? Jack, Drew, or Daryl could have moles on their face. We're looking at a trans man, investigators, a trans man. Again, we got, I don't know what's wrong with these people out here, boy. I really don't. I really, really don't. These people are changing dicks to vaginas and shit. I don't know what's wrong with these people. Where's that card at? What the hell? Ooh, man. I don't know. I don't know where that card is, but it already came out here. Okay, someone changed their dick to a vagina. Okay, so here we got a trans man out here. It's crazy, crazy nonsense. I'm telling you. Okay, so this 10 of Pentacles says, my family is very dear to me. Here's their energy. My family is very dear to me, and I want you as a part of it, but also to build a new one in which I can provide for all of your needs. There it is. And the first card out here is, or was, we're moving. And on the back of that card, it says a new career. Okay? They were not expecting this from you, collective. But let me tell you this, they were not expecting this from you. Whatever your journey is, they were not expecting that from you. They thought, okay, all right, they'll give up at some point. They'll give in at some point. We're going to catch them. We're going to corner them. We're going to send them this, and they're going to show up, and we're going to take them out, or whatever it was. They did not. They did not expect you to rise to where you are today. They did not expect that. Investigators, they did not expect for you to stick to your guns and tell the truth, judge. They didn't expect you to a judge can, you have a minimum sentence and a maximum sentence, right? And a judge can rule upward, okay? Meaning the higher sentence, okay? Or can rule to the lesser, okay? They did not expect the judge to rule upward. They thought, oh yeah, I'll get 5 years, 7 years. The judge was like, no, motherfucker, 60 years. Because you a cockroach. You know what I'm saying? They didn't expect that. They didn't expect it, collective. They did not expect it, investigators. Okay. Last one, we have a spiritual slave. Okay. On the magician, okay. That is somebody who is trying to keep people captive. Again, polygamous, parasites, okay, polyamorous individuals, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, okay, Kevin, Jim Jones, okay, any of these people in history who led karmic religious ass organizations, but they're fucking the women and they got 50 kids. Spiritual slaves. Okay? Or a polygamist that has many women working for them and they don't have a fucking job, like Kevin. Spiritual slave. Okay? That is a pulpit pimp. Okay? That is a pulpit pimp. Okay? Someone has a healing cat. Okay, ladies, again, what did I say the 3 things were? Here's a question for you, since we're doing the Q&A thing before I go. Here's a question for you. I named 3 things that you absolutely need in order to ascend and start living your spiritually conscious life. Somebody put in the comments what those 3 things are. This is a clue of one of them. Someone put in the comments what those 3 things are. I'm a master builder 33. That is a master teacher. Somebody put in the comments the 3 things that I said are needed. See who's paying attention. Someone might cheat and go back, rewind the live, but that's okay. Hey, hey, Omega, we're getting ready to go. It's good to see you, though. It's good to see you. Oh, I send you love. Happy Christmas Eve to you. For those of you who do not, I do not offer personal readings, okay? As far as energy readings or what have you. But what I do offer is esoteric conversations. And for a limited time, you can get confirmation. You can get a free 30-minute esoteric conversation. Thank you, Divine, for reminding me to mention this. You can get a free 30-minute esoteric conversation with me. And that is via WhatsApp or Zoom. Okay, we will only do video. I will not speak to someone over the phone because I have no idea who the fuck you really are, to be honest with you. Anybody can create a YouTube account. The karmics have proved that, right? They've proven that. Anybody can create a Instagram account. The karmics have proved that, right? So, yeah. Okay. So yeah, a free 30-minute conversation. Okay, you can send me an email at realpsychicinvestigators@gmail or nehrupatah@gmail. And Nehrupatah is NEHRUPTAH@gmail. Okay, send me an email to either one of those and we will get your free 30-minute esoteric conversation set up. And again, at the end of that, we will go ahead and pull the energy and see where the current energy is at that time. Thank you so much, everyone, for the love. I definitely appreciate it. Hey, Melanie Nicole from Mobile. Shout out to Mobile, Alabama. Melissa, are you familiar with the Rock of Mobile, or what used to be the Rock of Mobile, and Aaron Smith? Are you familiar with that religious-ass organization? Are you familiar with that? Let me ask that question. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, it's Omega. I didn't realize this. Omega and Melissa was, I didn't even look at the name that was sending the message. I just looked at the name. What about, Sammy, you're asking about a video. You said, what about what about 1A video? I'm not sure I understand that. I'm not sure I understand that. What do you mean, Sammy? What do you mean? No, don't ask around. You don't even want to know. Don't ask around. But they are associated with the Rock of Central Florida and Sanford, Florida, which is where I was for 20 years after the military. That's why I asked. And they're in Mobile, Alabama. It used to be, the church name used to be the Rock of Mobile, but they changed it to like Gates of Zion or something like that. Sammy, what can you clarify? Can you clarify your question, Sammy? Can you clarify? Okay. I would like to answer Sammy's question. We have 5555 for clarity. Okay, 5555 for clarity. You aren't a victim of your circumstances. Rather, you are the beneficiary of them. What did I say? Thank you, Divine Source, for the journey. Thank you, Most High, for the journey, because I haven't always loved it. And the last 3 years 4, 5, 6 years have been rough. But here I am. Here I am. Big, bad, and bold as shit. You know, here I am. Here we are, collective. Okay? Here we are. Okay? We've been grafted in. Grafted in. If that weren't the case, life would be pretty dull. You will Set yourself up for success in the long run if you are willing to adapt to the shift, the paradigm shift. Bob Proctor Energy. Everything in the Proctor Gallagher Institute, okay? Everything is working out for the best. At long last, you are accomplishing what you set out to do. Everything will work out perfectly in the end. Take a look at the clarity. That's good. That's good right there. Okay? That's like Christmas eggnog. That reminds me of somebody. So the name Verna or Brown could be significant for you. Eggnog. Verna or Brown. Okay? Lessons learned. Okay? 4. Results, benefits, reflection, okay, completion. Look at this. For those of you who resonate with this journey, congratulations. For those of you who are still on your journey, and again, you have to be honest with yourself because again, like the individual who asked that question about, will I see justice? I can't answer that question for you. The only person who I can answer that question for on this earth of the 8.4 billion people currently on this planet is myself. Okay? As much love as Justice League gives me, I can't answer that question for Justice League. As much love as Omega gives me, I can't answer that question for her. As much love as Victoria gives me, I can't answer that question. As much love as Sammy gives me, I can't answer that question. Only you can answer that question because it's based on your journey and your choices. Okay? I can only answer that for myself. Okay? We have 6666 for great blessings, self-love, boundaries, okay, needs, good vibes, wisdom, understanding, and letting go. Okay? Again, the dreams that I had overnight that I shared in the earlier live today, or last night for you all in the U.S., was the Phil Collins song, How Can I Just Let You Walk Away when all I can do is watch you leave? When I stand here with you, ooh, you're the only one who really knew me at all. So someone is saying, take a good look at him now. There's just an empty space without your face. Okay? Because they did not love you unconditionally the way that you loved them. So let them go. Just let them go. You'll heal. You'll get over it. And your ancestors and divine source will help you. The Galactic Federation will help you. The Council of Light will help you. The Sanhedrin Council and the Ascended Masters, archangels, they will help you, but you have to do the work too. It's a team effort. 1919 for cycles, okay? We are talking about karma, we're talking about dharma, we're talking about judgment, we are talking about cycles, we're talking about changes, and we are talking about a rebirth, okay? So, thank you so much, everyone, again, for tuning in. I appreciate you tuning in to this live. Again, the purpose of it was to be a live Q&A, and I appreciate all of the questions that did come forth, the things that I shared with you. Again, even moving forward, you can email me, ask me questions or what have you. Generally speaking, I will let you know that. And if it's a personal question and something I do not feel like I should be sharing, then I won't. And there are those things, okay? But thank you so much. My name is NEHRU. This is the Real Psychic Investigators, and this channel was created specifically to help solve the crimes on this planet concerning not just you and I, but Natalie Holloway, Lavina Lynn Johnson, Portia. I'm thinking, ooh, shout out to Taraji P. Henson. You know what I found out? So her significant other, who she has a son by, was stabbed to death. That is an open case currently. Is that a lie, investigators? FBI, CIA, is that a lie that's going on? Shout out to you, Taraji P. That is an open case. Just like Tamron Hall's sister's case is an open case. Yeah, Tamron Hall, that Tamron Hall. Both of those celebrities have open cases right now. Both of those celebrities have open cases right now. Okay? So thank you so much as always for tuning in, and be encouraged.